Well, here I go. I guess I'm rebooting my podcast. Hi, everybody. Dr. Steph here, Stephanie Mage. And it's been a while since I've been on here. And I have just taken a hiatus. And I realized I have some things to say, I have some things that have happened. And I just thought I would take a moment to say hello and share them. So, hello, everybody. Hello. I have this being recorded for YouTube as well, and just happy to be here. Where have I been? That's, I think, the question. I've been here. I've been working, and I've been, we've had a lot of no one talks about this time of life in your life where you're at this age. I'm 59 now, which is wild because I started this podcast 10 years ago when I was 49 because I was turning 50. And now I'm knocking on 60's door, which is crazy. And no one really talks about this time of life where you're taking care of your parents are passing, your friends' parents are passing, your partner's parents are passing, everybody's getting older and everybody's caring for everybody that's older. And it's just this really hard, crazy, wild time. And that's where I've been. I've been in it with my father, with my wife's mother, and her dad is in his mid-90s, and we have patients that are getting older, and all our friends' parents are getting older. So it's just been one of those things that I've just been in my life and working and doing all that. And I want to, talk about that. And really, the big thing that has happened in my practice life is twofold, and I'll talk about that as well. So, yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, I've been nervous to have this to talk and have this conversation. It took me a long time, all day today. I've been knowing that I was going to do this, and it's late, it's nighttime now, and I've been knowing that I'm going to do this, and yet I have been kind of putting it off. And I know why, because it's been a while. And that freaking technology changes. So now all of a sudden I got to figure out another way to do this because the way that I was doing it is different. And anyway, so I feel like I'm babbling. So what is going on with me? So all in all, life is good. I'm loving pickleball, which I will probably, if I haven't mentioned pickleball yet, I will. And I am, over the winter, there's two things, big things. One that I think I've talked about in the past, which is this collaboration partnership with Curis Functional Health, which is this national company that provides integrative health to people, chiropractic. The legs of this thing are chiropractic, functional medicine, which is instead of using pharmaceuticals to care for issues and problems, you use diet and nutrition. And then the third one is a DNA-based weight loss. So that's something else that has been a real wonderful addition. And the last thing is mental health. So for me, really, those four things have been the pillar of my health journey over the last, I would say, 10 years. I wanted to offer that to my people. And it's been really great. It has been really, really wonderful. I have my bachelor's in nutrition. I did a lot of nutritional counseling, but I just, quite frankly, don't have the time. And to be able to say to somebody like I did this week, 5 different times, you're having trouble with gut issues. Well, how about I have a conversation with the functional medicine doctor that, that could dive into this with you in a more detailed way. And it's all telehealth. People are like, yeah. Oh, you're interested in having your hormones assessed? Let me get you a. So that has just been a really nice thing to offer more services, to be able to say to somebody, you have had a trauma with this car accident, and maybe you should talk to somebody about that. It doesn't have to be, decades of therapy. You could get some strategies, somebody to talk to, and just get some short-term and or long-term help, dealing with this, so that the trauma doesn't linger and settle in our bodies and our psyches, stuff like that. So it's just been wonderful. I went through the DNA-based weight loss for curiosity's sake, and for the very reason to drop some lbs and get a little leaner. And it was wild to see what my DNA said about what I should eat, how I should exercise. The big thing for me was that I always tried to eat. Now, I'm not always good at that, but I always tried to eat like a high protein, low carb, not no carb, but lower carbs, and lower fat kind of diet. And what I learned that has just helped me so much stabilize my weight is that I actually need 55% fat in my diet. And then I need 25% protein and 20% carbohydrates. And when I made that switch, it's just like the yo-yo went away. It's really remarkable. So anyway, that's a big thing. We're still working on integrating that in my practice, and it's just been great. It's just been great. It's a new thing. I've been in practice 30. I graduated in 94. 31 years ago, and so it's nice to have some new juice. And part of that new juice is the second thing that has been going on, is that over the winter I wrote a book. Can you see it without that light reflection? It's called The Disc Repair Blueprint. And then the subtitle, A Plan to Overcome Spinal Pain Through Cutting Edge Technology and Old School Wisdom, No Surgery Required. So I wrote this, and this is one of the reasons why I rebooted the podcast. I really feel like, if you're interested in a lot of different women's health, general health topics, if you search my podcast, I have probably done 1, 2, or 3 podcasts on it. So I wasn't interested in just repeating the same thing over and over. And that was part of it too. I felt like I had said everything I wanted to say about the topics that I talk about. I've talked about pediatrics and pregnancy, and, I see, wonderful little babies and pregnant moms every day. I am, just like I started this podcast when I was 49, turning 50, because we were approaching this 50 mark, and I felt like my people, meaning my 50, were making bad choices about what to do. And it was a lot about statins, and a lot of people having high cholesterol and high blood pressure and high this, and starting to take all this medication. And me knowing that some lifestyle stuff, some chiropractic stuff, some nutrition stuff could really make a difference. And then starting this podcast to offer that input to the people in my life and to people around in my sphere of influence. And so that's why I started it. Well, now here I'm at 59, and I feel like I've said a lot about all those things. And there's something that just came about in the last year that I talked about a little bit at the beginning, or like my ending podcasts, but I really have been blown away by this. And so I really want to actually spend some time, and that's how to repair our discs. So many people that come to me have disc issues. And when you get older, people say, oh, I'm shrinking. Well, your bones, most of the time, it's not your bones that are shrinking, it's your discs. Your discs are narrowing and dehydrating and getting arthritic. And that can be from injury, it can be from maybe something you were born with in your body, like a scoliosis or something like that, or even things like some people are born with half vertebrae, too many vertebrae, not enough vertebrae, and those things now when you're getting in your 50s and 60s really start getting you. When you're in 20s and 30s, it's just like, that's no big deal. Rub some dirt on it, keep on moving. So now I'm seeing these issues. So I last year invested in a machine. It's called non-surgical spinal decompression. It's a computerized traction unit that you lay on and are hooked up to a computer, as well as they use Velcro straps to kind of anchor certain body parts depending on where you're tractioning. So if you're tractioning in your lumbar spine or your lower back, the Velcro will be like a tight corset belt around your waist while you're laying down, and it applies in an intermittent form, like pulsing form, very specific traction to those discs. And so there's that is like anti-gravity. It's gravity that's been screwing us all up. And so using this and some supplements and some other things has really been remarkable. And I've been taking post x-rays. I mean, ideally what I would do is take an MRI. Then I would go through a course of this therapy. Usually it's, multiple times in a week if people are, in that first phase. And then people come in. Now people are like, I don't ever want to live in a world where I can't have that as part of my adjustment. So they get, whenever they get adjusted, they'll get some decompression as well. And I've been taking these post x-rays. I'm seeing disc height restored. I'm seeing hydration of the discs. Whereas, that's what happens is they dry out and they get squished. And I'm seeing hydration as well as like all these patients that were my patients for decades. Like I had somebody that hasn't been in 5 years come in, and her, normally I would not have a way to really treat that. And so to have this is just, it feels really like a gift, and it's really amazing. It's helping a lot of people. And so I wrote a book about it. The Disc Repair Blueprint. You can get it on Amazon. Kindle and a book. And it's, it's simple. I try to really break it down for people. And, I had somebody in last week that has had now 2 spine surgeries and literally said to me, the reason I'm here, my book was sitting in the exam room. She picked it up and she's like, this is the reason I'm here. She said, I need to do something. She's in her early 60s. I need to do something because my discs are a mess. And if I don't do something in, another 10 years, I'm going to be in big trouble. And so, that's why I decided to take the time and write the book. And that's why I'm going to take the time and go through it with you guys in a series of podcasts over the course of the next month to really just illuminate what that's all about, to give you all resources if you don't live in the Chicago area, give you resources and hopefully find you people that can help you either with just spinal decompression or with the whole gambit, the Curis Functional Health model of functional medicine, DNA-based weight loss, and mental health. And so, that's why I decided to, in a way, come out of retirement. I mean, Julie, my wife, Julie, who runs the office, she's been on me for a while, like, why are you not talking on your podcast? I think you'd really be happier if you were talking on your podcast. And I don't know why I have the reluctance, but there has been a reluctance. And so I feel like I have something to say, and who knows where this will go. I have ideas, I have thoughts about where the podcast will move to. But right now, I just wanted to say hello, to tell you A-OK over here. I hope you are A-OK over there. And then look forward to a series here in the next month of talking chapter by chapter about my book and what you can do to help heal your discs, either from disc herniations, which are the acute injuries, slip disc, ruptured disc, herniated discs, what happens like when you lift a refrigerator and your back blows, and also arthritic disc, which is really what I have found, like just slow decay over time, gravity and bad posture and injuries over time, just degrading and decaying those discs. And what can we do to arrest the decay? What can we do to reverse some of it? I wish it was like I can make everybody's discs look like they're 20 again. That's not gonna happen. That being said, I've had a lot of people feel like they're 20 again after going through a course of care. So I look forward to this. I look forward to seeing you all. And again, remember that you can always call and ask questions. Those numbers are at the beginning and the end of the podcast. And thank you so much for listening.